swallowed them down. Suddenly, he started gagging and coughed up an egg. The crowd around him was stunned. Then he kept producing more eggs, and people rushed forward to give him tips. This was how he earned money to support his mother. When he got back to their rundown home, he shook a silver coin out of his mother's hair. Then his mother excitedly shook his body, and more coins clattered to the floor. His mother laughed with joy, and the boy promised her he'd make even more money in the future. However, 12 years passed, and he was still performing on the streets, barely scraping by. To fulfill the promise he'd made to his mother, he came up with a way to boost his reputation. Houdini walked into the police station and threw all his savings on the table, betting the jailer that no prison could hold him. To make an even bigger splash, Houdini brought in reporters. The furious jailer slapped handcuffs on him and thoroughly searched his entire body before throwing him in a cell, swearing he'd teach him a lesson. His wife came over to kiss him goodbye, which made the jailer suspicious. After another careful search turned up nothing, everyone left, and he began his spectacular performance. After that, Houdini became famous, but he knew full well that this alone wouldn't be enough to keep audiences coming back. So he went to the jailer again, and this time he was completely naked, his entire body wrapped in chains. Facing the jailer's taunts, Houdini just smiled contemptuously. The police then dragged him into the cell and even gagged him. But the moment the crowd dispersed, Houdini immediately began his act. He spread his hands, revealing 6 fingers, and pulled out a key. When the crowd gathered again, the cell was completely empty, leaving only a furious and helpless sheriff behind. Thanks to extensive media coverage, Houdini became an instant star, but he still wasn't satisfied. He wanted to create an even more thrilling and dangerous trick. Despite his assistant and wife's objections, Houdini insisted on hanging himself upside down in a water tank. The inverted position caused blood to rush to his head, and he signaled for them to pull him out. His wife sensed something was wrong, but just then, the tank's lid malfunctioned. Houdini had reached his physical limit, and his assistant frantically smashed the tank open with an axe. Houdini narrowly escaped death and told his assistant he had to make this trick work. Before long, the day of the water tank performance arrived. His feet were bound, and he was submerged face down in the water. The tank was tightly sealed and even locked with iron locks. This was an unprecedented performance, and the audience was on the edge of their seats. However, 5 minutes passed with no response from the stage, and people started to worry. His wife was beside herself with anxiety and quickly called for the rescue team to save him. When the wooden lid was opened, the water tank was empty. It turned out Houdini had already escaped. From that moment on, Houdini became the most famous magician of all time. The boy picked